The week leading into this clash between San Francisco and Seattle has felt heavier than usual, and that is saying a lot considering the history between these two teams. Every time these colors share the same field, the atmosphere changes, and this matchup once again arrives loaded with tension, storylines, and uncertainty on both sidelines. As kickoff gets closer, the biggest conversation around the 49ers revolves around health, resilience, and how much this roster can absorb before the moment finally arrives. All eyes have been locked on the situation involving Fred Warner, a player who defines the identity of this defense. His return to the practice field earlier in the week immediately sparked optimism throughout the locker room and among the fan base. Watching him move laterally, change direction, and explode through drills created the sense that something special might be building. There was real belief that his intensity and leadership could carry him back onto the field sooner than expected, especially considering the importance of this rivalry game against Seattle. That optimism, however, has now shifted into patience. Despite the encouraging signs during practice, the decision has been made to hold Fred Warner out of this game. It is not about effort or desire, because no one doubts that he would suit up if it were solely his call. The reality is that the injury he suffered months ago was severe, involving a broken and dislocated ankle that many initially believed would end his season entirely. The fact that his name is even being discussed at this stage is a testament to the relentless work he has put in behind the scenes. Since the injury, Warner has attacked rehabilitation with a professional intensity that mirrors how he plays on Sundays. Long hours each day have been spent rebuilding strength and stability with careful attention to recovery and conditioning. From controlled running environments to advanced recovery methods, everything possible has been done to accelerate his return without cutting corners. When his practice window opened, it was a clear signal that the organization believed the comeback was realistic, just not yet guaranteed. Even though he will not take the field against Seattle, his presence this week has mattered. Teammates have felt it. Energy at practice shifted the moment he stepped between the lines, even in a limited role. Players moved with more urgency, communication sharpened, and the defense carried itself with the confidence that comes from knowing their leader is fighting to rejoin them. Sometimes the impact of a star player goes far beyond snaps played, and this week proved that point clearly. From a football perspective, caution makes sense. Returning to full game speed after such a long absence is not simply about being healthy enough to move. It is about trust in the body, timing, and the ability to react without hesitation. Linebacker is a position that demands constant contact, sudden acceleration, and full commitment on every play. Asking someone to do that without enough live preparation is a significant risk, no matter how elite the player may be. The hope inside the building is that taking this approach now could open the door for Warner to return if San Francisco continues its postseason run. That possibility alone has become a source of motivation. Players understand what is at stake, not just in terms of advancing, but in giving one of their leaders a chance to make a dramatic return on the biggest stage. That mindset adds another emotional layer to an already intense rivalry game. Before the injury, Warner was performing at a level that placed him among the very best defenders in football. His overall performance grades ranked at the top of off-ball linebackers, driven by elite run defense and coverage ability. He was everywhere, erasing mistakes, closing gaps, and setting the tone for a defense built on speed and discipline. Losing that presence is never easy, but San Francisco has had to adapt, and adaptation has become a theme of this season. With Warner sidelined, the responsibility shifts to a group that has already been tested under pressure. Veteran leadership steps forward, particularly from Eric Kendricks, whose impact in recent games has exceeded expectations. His instincts, experience, and calm approach have helped stabilize the middle of the defense. Despite joining the team late, he has played with confidence, reading offenses quickly and putting himself in the right position snap after snap. Alongside him, depth players have been asked to rise to the moment, and the coaching staff deserves credit for preparing them. Communication has been sharp, alignments have been clean, and the effort has been consistent. When a team finds itself relying on players further down the depth chart, execution becomes non-negotiable. So far, San Francisco has responded with discipline and toughness, traits that will be tested again against a Seattle offense that thrives on pressure situations. On the other side of this rivalry, uncertainty also looms. Seattle enters the game dealing with its own injury concerns, particularly at the quarterback position. Sam Darnold has been managing an oblique issue that surfaced during throwing sessions earlier in the week. That part of the body is critical for generating power and control, and even a minor limitation can affect accuracy and timing. While there is confidence that he will be available, the question becomes how effective he can truly be if discomfort lingers. The possibility of the backup quarterback taking meaningful snaps adds another layer of intrigue. Preparation shifts, game plans adjust, and defenses stay alert for unexpected changes. For San Francisco, this means staying disciplined regardless of who lines up under center. Rivalry games have a way of ignoring expectations, and momentum can swing quickly when emotions run high. As Saturday night approaches, the narrative is clear. This game is about resilience, depth, and belief. San Francisco will take the field without one of its emotional anchors, but not without purpose. The absence of Fred Warner is felt, yet his influence remains woven into the fabric of this team. Every tackle, every stop, and every defensive stand carries the weight of a group determined to keep its season alive and its leader's comeback dream within reach. As the focus shifts deeper into the matchup itself, the conversation naturally turns to how San Francisco adjusts on the field without one of its most influential voices directing traffic in the middle. Defense in this system has always been about collective responsibility, and that philosophy is being tested again. Communication before the snap, discipline and gap control, and trust between teammates become even more critical when instincts have to replace familiarity. Eric Hendricks has quietly become one of the most important figures in this stretch. His experience shows up in subtle ways, from recognizing formations early to positioning teammates correctly before the ball is snapped. He does not rely on speed the way younger linebackers do, but his understanding of angles and leverage allows him to arrive at the point of contact on time. Against an opponent like Seattle, which thrives on misdirection and quick reads, that awareness can neutralize big plays before they develop. Next to him, players who were not expected to play such meaningful roles at this stage of the season have embraced the challenge. These situations often reveal the true culture of a team. Preparation during the week translates into confidence on game day, and confidence allows players to react instead of hesitate. San Francisco's defensive structure demands that linebackers flow sideline to sideline, fill gaps decisively, and remain disciplined against play action, all while handling coverage responsibilities in space. Seattle's offense understands this and will attempt to exploit any hesitation. They will test the edges, use motion to create confusion, and look for mismatches over the middle. That makes tackling efficiency a priority. Missed tackles turn manageable situations into explosive gains, something that cannot happen in a game where possessions are limited and emotions are high. This rivalry rarely allows for mistakes to go unpunished. The quarterback situation on Seattle's side only adds to the unpredictability. An oblique injury may not sound dramatic, but for a quarterback it can alter everything from footwork to release point. Even a slight limitation can affect velocity and accuracy, especially on throws that require torque and timing. If Sam Darnold is not at full strength, San Francisco will look to test him early, forcing throws under pressure and challenging his ability to drive the ball outside the numbers. Should the backup be forced into action, the dynamic changes again. Backup quarterbacks often rely on simplified reads and quick decisions, which can lead to conservative play calling. That puts pressure on the run game and short passing concepts, areas where discipline and tackling once again become decisive. Defensive linemen must control the line of scrimmage, allowing the second level to stay clean and aggressive. Offensively, San Francisco understands that this game may not be about fireworks but about control. Sustaining drives, winning field position, and limiting mistakes can tilt the balance. The defense feeds off the offense's ability to stay on the field, rest its starters, and apply pressure over 4 quarters. In rivalry games, patience often matters more than flash. Emotion will be impossible to avoid. The history between these teams guarantees intensity from the opening snap. Hits will be harder, celebrations louder, and every decision scrutinized. The challenge for San Francisco is channeling that emotion without letting it lead to penalties or lapses in focus. Veteran leadership across the roster plays a key role in maintaining that balance. The absence of Fred Warner on the field does not mean his voice is gone. He remains present on the sideline, engaged in conversations, offering insight, and reinforcing adjustments. Leadership does not always require a helmet. Sometimes it shows up in reminders between series, in calm words after a mistake, or in reinforcing belief when momentum shifts. This game represents more than a single step in the postseason. It is a test of identity. San Francisco has built its reputation on physicality, depth, and preparation. Injuries challenge that identity, but they also provide opportunities for others to define themselves. Every snap becomes a chance to prove that the system is bigger than any one player, even one as impactful as Warner. As the minutes tick down toward kickoff, there is a sense that this matchup will come down to execution in critical moments. Third downs, red zone efficiency, and turnovers will shape the outcome. Seattle thrives in chaos, while San Francisco prefers structure and control. Whichever team imposes its preferred style will gain the upper hand. The locker room understands what is at stake. There is awareness that a win not only advances the season, but also keeps alive the possibility of welcoming back a leader for an even bigger stage. That thought lingers in the background, fueling effort and sharpening focus. In a rivalry defined by thin margins, motivation can be the difference between surviving and watching from home, and every player wearing red and gold knows exactly what this moment demands. Beyond the tactical adjustments and injury discussions, there is an emotional undercurrent that cannot be ignored. Rivalry games have a way of pulling something extra out of players, especially in the postseason, where every snap carries added weight. The noise, the physicality, and the familiarity between these teams create an environment where composure becomes just as important as talent. San Francisco understands that staying mentally sharp from the first whistle to the last could be the deciding factor. Another element that looms large is how quickly momentum can shift in a matchup like this. One turnover, one breakdown in coverage, or one explosive play can completely change the tone of the night. That reality puts pressure on every unit to stay locked in, communicate clearly, and respond immediately when adversity hits. This is not a game where slow starts or second-half adjustments can afford much margin, because Seattle has built a reputation on capitalizing when opponents lose focus. As the players prepare to step onto the field, there is a shared understanding that this is about more than advancing in the bracket. It is about protecting home turf, honoring the work put in throughout the season, and reinforcing the standard this team believes in. Every hit, every pursuit, and every decision will reflect that mindset, setting the tone for what San Francisco expects from itself when the lights are brightest and the stakes are at their highest. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are circulating through the NFL circles, and if they're true, the San Francisco 49ers might be quietly assembling one of the league's most feared secondaries. At the center of this speculation is Sneed, reportedly elevated to the role of the team's #1 cornerback. While official sources have been tight-lipped, insiders suggest that Sneed's transition to the top spot could signal a seismic shift in how opposing offenses prepare for the 49ers. Sneed, known for his fluid coverage and uncanny ball instincts, has long been considered a versatile defensive back capable of locking down elite receivers. Observers note that his ability to read routes, combined with a rare knack for timing jumps and breakups, could allow the 49ers to deploy more aggressive schemes across the field. Some analysts speculate that his presence as the premier corner may encourage the team to take calculated risks in coverage, daring quarterbacks to test the secondary in ways they've previously avoided. The buzz isn't just about Sneed individually. Sources hint that the entire defensive backfield is trending toward elite status, with young talent blending seamlessly with seasoned veterans. If these rumors hold water, the 49ers could be quietly cultivating one of the most dynamic secondaries in recent memory, one capable of reshaping game plans and forcing turnovers at pivotal moments. Coaches reportedly are experimenting with multiple alignments, relying on Sneed's versatility to disguise coverages and apply pressure without tipping hand. Fans and commentators alike are paying attention to every practice update and preseason performance, searching for clues. Some suggest that Sneed's new role could elevate not only his own game, but also the performances of those around him, creating a domino effect across the defensive unit. Questions abound. Will opposing quarterbacks adjust their targets to avoid Sneed? How will the secondary handle double coverage scenarios? And crucially, can this speculative leap to elite status sustain itself over the grueling NFL schedule? While nothing is confirmed, one thing is clear. The 49ers' defensive identity may be on the verge of transformation. With Sneed seemingly stepping into the spotlight as the #1 corner, whispers of an elite secondary are growing louder, promising intrigue and excitement for fans and pundits alike. As the rumors swirl, the football world watches closely, wondering whether this speculation could become one of the season's defining stories. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.